Let's move forward to the next item on our agenda, which is Senate Bill 2496, relating to the Model State Right to Repair Law. This has to do with digital electronic equipment, requires original equipment manufacturers of such digital electronic equipment to make documentation, parts, and tools available to independent repair providers and owners for the purpose of diagnosis, maintenance, and repair on fair and reasonable terms. Our first testifier is the Motorcycle Industry Council. Offered some comments. I was surprised to get this because I don't see them as a mobile digital device, but maybe my field of vision is too narrow. I'm thinking about these things and similar items. Hawthorne Pacific Caterpillar. Opposition. Is somebody here from Hawthorne Pacific Caterpillar? Okay, come forward.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
Members of the committee. My name is Bob Whitworth. I'm the general manager for Hawthorne Pacific, Caterpillar dealership here in Hawaii. And I'm here this morning to oppose the legislation, this law of SB 2496. I'm responsible for 182 tech employees here in Hawaii. 89 of them are technicians. They are all trained, certified factory-trained technicians. And when equipment is improperly repaired or modified, the warranty will be voided. The right to repair legislation risks permitting a user to override safety features and modify engines to increase horsepower beyond manufacturer's ratings. In closing, the equipment industry is committed to supporting our customers' right to diagnose, repair repairs, and to reduce downtime and maximize productivity. However, we oppose legislation like HB 1884 that would grant access to modified inhibit codes. Thank you for considering our opposition against SB 2496.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, often forget that there's a lot of electronic gadgetry in all of our vehicles these days. Thank you for that reminder. Entertainment Software Association. Testimony in opposition. The Repair Association members in support. Security Innovation Center in opposition. Consumer Technology Association in opposition. U.S. Public Interest Research Group in support. Cellular Telecommunications Trade Industry Association, CTIA.
Blake Wilshire on behalf of CTIA. We stand on our testimony in opposition.
Thank you. Tesla in opposition. Microsoft in opposition. American Machinery. Yes, please come forward. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and Council. My name is Andrew Lundstrom from American Machinery. We have 5 stores, 60 employees within the state of Hawaii. We oppose this bill, and the reason being is because embedded software, things like that help us manage emissions within the equipment to make sure safety regulations and things like that are kept within the heavy equipment. With giving access to these diagnostic tools, you have the ability to shut down all these safety regulations. We use them for diagnostic purposes. Once we can identify the issue, we then go ahead and turn those things back on to make sure that they follow and meet the standards. It's mainly those embedded software, that coding, those electronic devices that help with the efficiency of the engines that we have in the equipment. I do have a letter with a coalition of 31 national associations, also in oppose of this bill nationwide. And I just wanted to let you guys know. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
If you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay. If you want to leave a copy of that letter with the committee clerk,
yeah,
we'd be happy to include that.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Medical Imaging and Technology Alliance. Also in opposition, Geeks for Good and Tinyville Farm in support. Far West Equipment Dealers Association in opposition. These individuals have indicated their support. Patrick Karjala, Catherine Rosigo, Michael Lim.
Here.
Please come forward if you want to testify.
Good morning, Senators. I'd just like to add to my testimony, and I apologize for my voice. There's a note from various lobbyists mentioning malware, and I would like to bring to mind this few articles. First, there's one that is titled Unremovable Malware Found Pre-Installed on Low-End Smartphone Sold in the U.S. This was not picked up by the OEM, but by third parties. Apple, a trillion-dollar corporation, is not immune to this. There is an article, 20 malware apps managed to infiltrate the Apple App Store. Despite their Apple geniuses and expertise, these got sent to millions of users. In 2012, there's a note from MIT's Technological Review. There's little recourse for hospitals when a manufacturer refuses to allow OS updates or security patches. Despite FDA guidance issued in 2009, many manufacturers interpret the fine print in other ways and don't offer updates. If that wasn't of interest, 2019, medical device manufacturers against healthcare malware and ransomware. When dealing with security breaches, the reality is that manufacturers of medical devices are often to blame. Indeed, a study conducted by College of Healthcare Information Management executives found that 96% of providers pointed to manufacturer errors as being central to data breaches and device-related security issues. Whereas another influence on securing healthcare devices from virus influences will be the legislative environment created by governments. In this regard, government oversight will play a critical role in improving security in this area. There's definitely room for improvement. I submit that third-party accounting for manufacturers as well as other third parties will help secure these problems with viruses, malware, and cybersecurity. Without them, consumers are stuck with the promises from manufacturers that they will fix these problems in a prompt and secure manner. Unfortunately, with these few examples, it's shown that that's not always the case. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May I submit this?
Yes, thank you. Jerry Shai,
Here, President.
please come forward.
Aloha, Senate Chair Baker, Vice Chair Chan, and all the members of the committee. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk and speak, provide my testimony. My name is Jerry Shi. I'm a member of the public in strong support of the Senate Bill 2496. I stand by my submitted testimony, and I want to add a couple comments in response to the opposition against this bill. So first, I want to direct your attention to page 8, line 15 to 20 in the SB 2496. It points out in black and white clearly that it excludes motor vehicles, motor vehicle manufacturers, motor vehicle equipment, and dealerships. So in that particular portion, that being said, the bill does not affect them at all. So Caterpillar, Tesla, those guys, even like CAT, John Deere, farm equipment guys, doesn't apply to them. It's clearly in the bill. So why do you need to submit your opposition? Doesn't apply to you. Second, I want to direct your attention to page 7, line 13 to 17 of the SB2496. It states clearly the limitation on trade secrets. So, for example, the electric gaming industry, right? The electric, sorry, I forgot who testified opposition, the name of them, but trade secrets for them, protection against software, all that doesn't apply to them because it's trade secret. So same thing, the bill clearly points that out, it's limited to that. Lastly, I'm one of fellow citizens, a member of your caucus, right? So I fix my aunties, uncles' phones. Many of you have, I can see iPhone 10, iPhone XS, and all those $1,000 equipment. These suckers $1,000 now. Before, back in the day when I worked for Up Next Wireless, these were what, 500? At the most 500. At the base, they're free, given out by T-Mobile and such, right? Who fixed these things before? Oh, they have these run-of-the-mill mom-and-pop repair shops, put all these fancy lights, make it all flashy, make it all bling, and all that stuff. That's just because what consumer wants. We're not trying to put malicious software. We're not trying to do anything. We're just trying to help everybody out. Hey, you have a problem to change your battery? Sure, I can change your battery for you. But now what Apple does with the newest firmware update, or not firmware, but what's update to 12, I believe, the battery has what they included as a feature called, fuel meter, or how they gauge the battery lifespan, right? But they don't tell you that the battery actually has chips on it. And then now, if you try to get a battery not sanctioned or from even the original manufacturer, you put it into the phone, because the diagnostic tool you're not afforded, you cannot authorize that particular battery in there. And when you put it in there, all the battery diagnostic is now openly available to you. You bring this to Apple to do it, they say, oh, hey, we can change your battery for $150. A battery does not cost $150. That's about it. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask.
Okay, thank you.
you.
We also have testimony and support from Erica and from MJ Nale. Okay.
Thanks for having me, Chair Baker, Vice Chair Chang, other senators. So just so you can understand the impact that this is having, I'll give you a little background. I'm the owner of Android Hawaii Cell Phone Repair. We've been in business here in Honolulu for 11 years. I'm self-taught. We also run a data recovery, which basically, if you lose any of your pictures or videos, we can recover that. There's one other shop that does it in support of an island of 1 million. I'm also the founder of Phone Lab smartphone tech courses. We've trained over 5,000 people. We started up at HTDC here in Honolulu. And Mr. Lim brought up a beautiful point, which was all the problems that you're seeing in this bill have to do with the manufacturer. We're the ones, the people like myself and the students that we've trained that are fixing these problems. So they're coming directly from the OEM. So let me frame this up for you, how it happened. So last year, Apple sends out an update, and it slowed down everybody's iPhone. So what ended up happening was there was a surge in battery repairs. Now, Apple caught on to this because all of a sudden their repairs spiked and they saw the revenue. This is a $3 billion a year industry in America, and this is a hot button issue. And now Apple wants to make money from it. So what do? Okay, we're going to make, selling parts to independent repair shops illegal. That's what we want to do. They want to shut us down. Now, I'm already having trouble getting batteries from the OEM right now. With the recent FAA restrictions in place, it makes it even more difficult. So don't kid yourselves about what this is about. This is entirely about money. It has nothing to do with your security, because I investigate. I also do security research for, on Apple and on Android on the side, and I've found a lot of holes in what they're doing. But I can remember, I'll close it like this. So I can remember about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, when I was reading on the forums and I was learning about repair. And my daughter, I'm probably the only person in the world that can feed a baby a bottle and fix your phone at the same time. I asked my daughter this morning, I said, what should I say to the senators about other people, other companies trying to take daddy's job away? And she told me one thing. She said, tell them to vote in favor of the bill. She's a smart little 8-year-old. Her name is Kayla. So what I hope is that you guys have...
The apple of daddy's eye, I'm sure.
Yeah, the apple of daddy's eye. No pun intended. So do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We would ask you that you reduce your testimony in writing and provide it so we can have it for the record.
Will do.
Thank you so much. Anybody else here wishing to offer comment on this measure? Yes, please come forward. Likewise, we need your testimony as well.
Yes, I submitted testimony previously.
What's your name?
Aloha, Chairman Baker. My name is, in the CPH committee, my name is Joe Adams with Windward Boats in Kailua.
I'm sorry, we don't have your testimony, so just, you're welcome to testify, but then if you could leave the copy with us, we'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, I am providing testimony in opposition of Senate Bill 2496. We are located in Hawaii. We are the largest boat dealer in Hawaii, and we basically provide the sales and service of boats and motors. One of the things that I would like to say regarding this particular bill, it appears to be that the intent of what's, at least the impression that I get, is that this was all about trying to it's all about the cell phone industry, or mostly about the cell phone industry. There's a lot of I believe to be unintended effects of this bill that, well, one of the previous people that gave testimony had brought up the fact that there's an exemption to exempt motor vehicles from it, and that wouldn't affect companies like Caterpillar or Hawthorne, which are not motor vehicles. So I think that was incorrect testimony that was given to you. It will also affect our industry, which is boats and marine engines. Essentially, this bill will require our manufacturers to sell at their cost their proprietary diagnostic software to anybody in the general public to just go out there and think that they can go ahead and fix their marine engine. A marine engine is not like a boat engine, which we repair. Our customers, they demand a high degree of safety. They demand that we repair their engines properly. It's not like a car where if you have a problem, you pull over on the side of the road and you go ahead and you call AAA, and then you call Uber to come and pick you up, and everything's good. There are parts on the mainland where they have similar to AAA, where they have tow companies that come out and tow you in on your boat if you can raise them by radio. However, in Hawaii, we don't have that. So it's even more of an important factor that a lot of our boaters are going way offshore, and the next stop is Tahiti, or other parts of the South Pacific, or you never come home again. So it's extremely important that the engines are repaired properly, because it's a life and death situation if they're not repaired properly. Right now, our manufacturers, it's not all about we just go ahead and buy diagnostic software. A lot of people think you just plug that thing in and it tells you exactly what the problem is and what there is to fix. What that software, there's a lot more training that's required to that. In order for us to buy the diagnostic software as a dealer, we are required to send people to school for training to the manufacturer training facilities every year. We are required to buy a number of other special tools in addition to the diagnostic software. We are required to invest a lot of money in supplying a large selection of parts to repair these problems. So it's a lot more than what a lot of people think, that it's just about hook up let's sell a computer sell diagnostic software to anybody in the general public, and they're just going to go ahead and properly fix an engine, and there's no worry about you getting stuck offshore. It also causes other problems for the consumer, that by using this software and not doing it correctly, not repairing the engine correctly, you are also voiding the warranty provided by the manufacturer. And who pays for that? The consumer pays for that. So essentially, by people, going ahead and just and just going to are able to buy this without the proper training, without the additional tools that they need, a bill that is being created to help the consumer can actually be something that will be detrimental and unsafe for the consumer. In closing, the marine industry, we're committed to having customers that have safe, efficient products, and this software, a couple of other things too, what this software can do if anybody just has access to it. You can also, there's settings that you can shut off to if you want to go ahead and increase your horsepower. You can go ahead, anybody can just go ahead and do that. You can increase your horsepower, and therefore you're getting you're exceeding the manufacturer's maximum horsepower requirements that they have for a particular boat. There's also the Clean Air Act that you can shut off some of the emission controls and be in complete violation of the Clean Air Act by having all these different emissions. In 2006, there were, the laws were passed that essentially severely limited the amount of emissions that marine engines can produce, and by making this available to anybody, they can basically bypass that requirement. So I thank you so much for your considering my testimony.
Thank you very much for being here.
And if anybody has any questions.
We'll see if there's anybody else to testify first.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other individuals in the audience wanting to testify on this measure? Members, are there any questions for any of our testifiers? Yes, Senator Thielen.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Can you come up?
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is MJ Nail, N-A-L-E.
Nail. Mr. Nail.
Yes, I mispronounced his last name.
Yeah.
So I think that's correct, that the way motor vehicles is defined there, it's licensed to drive on a road, so it wouldn't capture Caterpillar, it wouldn't capture boats.
Correct.
My washer repair guy comes out with an iPad to run the diagnostics, so my washer is full of digital. Is the intent behind this right to repair really focused on cell phones, tablets, laptops?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So rather than trying to say everything it doesn't cover, because everything has computers now, is there legislation that's passed in other states that limit the right to repair law to cell phones, tablets, laptops?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, a lot of states are trying to tackle this issue right now. I know that, for example, I was...
Well, actually, just because we're short on time, are there other bills out there that people have pushed forward that limited the right to repair to cell phones, tablets, and laptops?
Outside of Hawaii, I'm not aware of them.
Oh, no, but this bill doesn't. So as I'm saying, this bill covers everything and tries to make an exception. I'm asking, do you have draft legislation that only covers?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Apologies for mispronouncing your last name.
That's okay.
Okay, any other questions on 2496? If not, why don't we go to the last item on our agenda, which is Senate Bill 2884 relating to the Public Utilities Commission Special Fund Carryover Balance. Increases the balance that may be retained in the Public Utilities Special Fund at the end of the fiscal year